I have one more thing I have to do. I'm going to mute alerts, but you'll still be able to see the alert come across and you'll see it in chat. I just want to make sure I mute alerts so that we don't have any music playing. Okay. There we go. Are we here? Beautiful. Hi. Today's stream and YouTube VOD are sponsored by Bloom Digital. Thank you so much. I'm very excited to play this with y'all today. Please check out the link in chat for LongStory 2. Mods, if you'd like to ping that in chat for me, that would be amazing. What will your journey be? Get LongStory 2 today on Steam and itch.io. Click the link. LongStory is back, baby. The adorable crew is heading to high school, ready or not. Negotiate a summer fling, handle friend drama, and solve Yam, yet another mystery, in the follow-up to Bloom's first and award-winning dating sim. This season explores body confidence, identity, and polyamory. This is an inclusive dating sim where you can choose your pronouns, and player choice and consent are at the core of the experience. This was originally designed to teach healthy dating practices. LongStory 1 and 2 are visual novels where the story is the main focus. Your journey, your choices, who will you be, and who will you love? The price is $14.99 USD, so if you're interested, check out the link in chat for more information. Caitlin, thanks so much for 11 months. Welcome on back. How are you? Can we get some love and hype in the chat? Thank you so much, sweetheart. I hope you're doing so great today. Hi, River. Welcome on in. You have 7? Oh, my God. Oh, at college. Okay. I got you. Okay, we ready for this music? I'm going to put it up kind of high for a minute. It made me cry this morning. It's my story now. It's my story now. It's really fun. I'm going to lower the volume a little bit. We're going to get into it. Okay. Property of Weasel Heights Middle School. So please keep this in mind as we are playing today. The kids are heading to high school, okay? So they are under the age of 18. So please keep things nice and lighthearted. Keep things cutesy. Because even though this is a dating sim, it's not going to be like other dating sims that we've played in the past that are a little bit more 18 plus, okay? Is that a chicken? Oh, baby, you just wait and see. Okay, who am I? Hello, my name is Violet. And also, look, I go by she, he, or they. I love this. And I look like, I think I'm going to do this. I like looking a little bit disgruntled. Not the minors. Got it. Beautiful. Look at the whole group together. Look at the chicken. There is a chicken. Now, before we get to the details of your love life, do you need a quick recap of Season 1? Yes. We need a recap. Let's journey back in time to where our story began. Let me know if the volume is too loud, y'all. I did bump it up, okay? What a cute middle school. I had a pretty dramatic start at Weasel Heights. This school will wreck you. Watch your back, or you'll find a knife in it. I found this weird warning in my locker. Yikes! But no one would talk about the student who wrote it. Spoiler, I survived. With the help of some amazing friends. Artist gamer Nora was my online-only bestie, but after sorting some stuff out, now we sometimes hang out in person! What a way to start! Drama. Oh, chat, just to let you know too, I'm gonna put that down just a bit. I do have 2 game keys to give out to you for Steam. I'm gonna do one at the hour mark, and then the second one will be right before we wrap it up for today. Okay? Thanks again to Bloom Digital. Nora's so cute! Colin, the big guy with the heart of gold, was Weasel Heights' rugby star. And a big dreamer who struggles with people's expectations. Something he has in common with his friend and cousin, Abby. Athletic and creative, Abby channeled a lot of her extroverted energy into dance club. The rest went into drama, and not the club kind. This is so cute. Kids are crazy. Marcel can be prickly and standoffish, but he had his reasons. And he opened up to me about them eventually. Eloquent, expressive, and enigmatic. Turkey Hawk is all of those big words and more. Look at the eyes! But I still can't help but wonder who really lies behind those googly eyes. Oh my god, I think Turkey Hawk is my favorite character. Look at him! Hannah, Jennifer, and Jane were not my friends. Until I saw how they stood by Em during the drama storm Abby whipped up when Em returned to Weasel Heights. Thanks for the hydrate. Yeah, I think Turkey Hawk is gonna be number 1. You should cry into their mouths, Hannah. You should do it. Your sleep paralysis demon. Turns out Em was the person who wrote the note in my locker. Unrequited love drama aside, Em is confident, funny, and punny, and an amazing songwriter. Oh, look at the whole group together. That's cute. You're all caught up. Now back to your love life. Okay, so chat, I want you to decide, who are we currently dating? So we have Abby, who's into drama and not just like the acting kind. We have Colin. Remember, he's got a heart of gold. Also, I think that Colin might be Turkey Hawk. We have Marcel. We have Nora, our online bestie. And then we have Turkey Hawk. So we can actually go through all these. I made a new scene. Are you ready? I know. Don't get scared. I'm flipped around, but it's for a reason. Abby is athletic, creative, and passionate. Sure, she has some relationship baggage with Marcel and Em, but it's nothing you can't overcome with good communication. All right, so you say Abby. Any people for Turkey Hawk? Colin is easygoing, generous, and not afraid to dream big, especially when it comes to your relationship. His weakness is conflict. He hates fighting and will avoid it at all costs. Then we have Marcel, who keeps things pretty close to the chest, though he's learning to open up to you more. Still, his strength is sexy sarcasm, not clear communication. Then we have Nora, a nerd supreme who loves comics and gaming. After a year of online friendship, you finally met in person, but your relationship quickly returned to online only, since Nora spends the summer in the Philippines with her family. And then finally, we have Turkey Hawk. Luxie, thanks so much for 13 months. Thank you, my sweetheart. How's your Friday going? It's good to see you. Turkey Hawk is a talented dancer with a deep love for poetry and muffins. Deeper still is the mystery of who they are. Turkey only ever communicates through well-articulated text messages, flashy gestures, and body language. Yet, even with the suit on, they always wear their heart on their sleeve. I can't get over these images. Look at this one. Chat, this is me if you even care. So, now that we've gone through everybody, who would y'all like? I'm hearing Nora across the board. Would y'all like Nora? Okay. We'll do Nora. We'll pick Nora. And Marcel is sarcasm. When I was bi, not everyone felt some attraction towards girls. Yeah. I especially feel like that friendship first of being online and getting to know each other would have sparked something too. Hi, Tia. You're saying turkey? Is you after a whole week of 9 to 5? Oh, man. Hold on. 1, 2, 3. I think Nora still wins. Yeah, Nora still wins, but it was a close call. We'll pick Nora. You and Nora. After a long while of being just friends, you and Nora decided to start dating. Being with Nora, complete with extra long chats and game date nights, is so much fun. However, Nora's been away all summer and you miss her, but she's coming home soon. Then there's Em, the mysterious locker note writer. If you're dating someone, do you kind of want to date Em too? Or are you single because you've liked Em all along? If so, now's your chance. Are you crushing on Em? So remember, Em was the one that wrote the note in our locker. and we ended up mending things with M, do we want to confess our feelings to M? Yes or no, chat? What do you want to do? Oh my God, look, you had such a great day. I hope you're able to rest. Maybe you can rest with some Animal Crossing. You would date Turkey? The meat, if you could. You say no? Chat, what do you think? Do we confess to M? Yes or no? I'm worried about how it'll be seen by Nora. So I'm going to say no to start us off. Nah, you're just happy being friends with M. You appreciate their chill approach to life, especially after last year's drama. You and Hannah. When you were feeling lonely this summer with everyone off doing their own thing, Hannah was there for you. To your surprise, you actually hit it off. So much so that Hannah asked you out on a movie date. Did you say yes even though you're dating someone else? I'm gonna say no again. You like Hannah, but not that much. You're no longer enemies. More than frenemies. Maybe even friends. But you're not crossing the romance line with Hannah. Okay, so we are going into high school right now. What high school are we going to? We have Bright Horizons, which is like a prep academy. We have Youth in Bloom, which is like an art school. We have Liberty Memorial, which looks like a regular public school. And then Grow, which is a leadership institute. I'm kind of concerned about the octopus coming out of this. I think Liberty Memorial regular public school would be cool. What do y'all want to do? I'm seeing a lot of the art school right now. Grow looks cool too. I know, isn't that dope? Like 4 different options. It'd be cool just to have 2 and they gave us 4. Why are there tentacles? You know, I'm sure it's nothing. Is it in Strangerville? Okay, so I think the most of y'all are saying Youth in Bloom, so we'll pick Youth in Bloom. All the world's a stage. Every vista a landscape, every moment a dance or photograph or comic panel. Youth in Bloom lovingly tends our school environment where creative students can blossom into artists, preparing them for a future creative career. Be prepared for occasional spontaneous musical numbers in the cafeteria. Oh my God, we're going to the Glee school. And that's what you missed on Glee. I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna do it. Okay. Weasel Heights Middle School, class of 20... The yearbook belongs to... Oh. You're the best. So glad we met this year. Oh, all the signs. Wait, I want to read Turkey Hawks. A life is not measured in years, but in those small, beautiful moments we share together. Thank you the most sincerely for your treasured companionship. So I thought it might have been Colin, but I don't think that Colin is that articulate. And it looks like they have different handwriting compared to everybody else. I guess maybe you don't totally suck. Yeah, I just used to write hags. Okay, episode 1. Welcome back. 1 week before high school starts. Ooh, we got a nice room. 2 more sleeps until Marcel's welcome home party. A text from Marcel, like I summoned him with my mind. Hey, Violet just landed on local soil. I'll probably be here for hours waiting for my luggage. But I just wanted to say, I'm back. I knew it. I felt a disturbance in the force. I'm just that powerful. It's going to be so good to have everyone back together. I'm so excited for your party. Too many exclamation marks on too little sleep. But me too. See you later. This is cute. You never bought yearbooks? No. We got ours for free except for our high school one. Now time for 3 solid hours of gaming before bed. This is like me, IRL. Except 3 hours would be like 13 hours. But you know what? Tomato, tomato, Demi Lovato. It's the same thing. Signed everyone's like Pokemon, really? I just used to put hags. Have a great summer. Wow, 2 texts in one night. It's Turkey Hawk. Hello, Violet. May I solicit your opinion regarding muffin options for the party? My opinion is all the muffins. Alas, I do not have time to bake all the muffins, so which do you prefer? Banana chocolate chip? Caramel apple spice? Lemon blueberry. Lemon blueberry. I'm not even asking you, chat, because this is a superior flavor. I'm sorry. A delicious choice. Thanks so much for baking muffins for Marcel's party. The pleasure is all mine. Good night, Violet. Later, turkey. Chat, exclamation point long story in the chat. If you want to click the link, it'll really help me out for tracking purposes, but also you can find out more information about this game. If you're interested in playing Long Story 1, it'll also be linked on the Steam website. It'll have a trailer for you. It's $14.99 USD. Check it out. Do it. Check it out. And thanks for leaving up lurks too, if y'all are out there. Thank you so much. Okay, now it's time for gaming. Oh, another disturbance, another text. I am super popular tonight. Hey, oh my god, it's Nora. My plane just landed. Can't wait to see your face, like, tomorrow. I've missed you. Missed you too. Come to my place whenever you wake up. I'll text you as soon as I pry my eyes open. Cool. Thanks, chat. Did you really, Silver? Oh my god, I love that. I didn't know it was Bloom's first visual novel either. Nora's back, which means high school starts next week. Am I ready? Are we ready? Oh, 6:54. Oh, you get to sleep in. Violet, breakfast was ready a half hour ago. Violet. Oh, I have a brother. Thanks for the follow. Welcome on in. Violet, please come down now. I've got errands. Reluctantly, you roll out of bed. I have errands too. No, I don't want to be mean to mom. Coming. Less of that sass, please. 1,000,000 years dungeon. No dungeon, but your breakfast is getting cold and I'm on a schedule. School's not for another week and mom's already trying to get me back on a schedule. But at least I get to see Nora today. She's finally back in the same country. Now that we've gone IRL, video calls just aren't enough. What's up, Evie? Welcome on in. Good to see you. I love our little brother. Can you get me a car explosion book bag? Sweetheart, I just bought you a new book bag last year. I know, but I don't want a Glad Lads book bag anymore. Why not? I just don't, okay? He's got a lot of feelings. Alex stomps away. Okay. One child's back to school order down. One to go. Mom, you're looking at me weird. Sorry, I was just thinking about how much you've grown up. I can't believe you start high school next week. It is me too. My mom would do it like 2 weeks out. I hated it because I was tired and I wanted to stay up playing video games all night. I was usually playing The Sims or Mario and listening to Linkin Park on my CD player or downloading legal music from LimeWire. Totally legal. Do I get to eat these waffles while we reflect on my future? You do. Now, Youth in Bloom sounds like a very unstructured learning experience. Well, you can't grade fine art. Actually, you can. They still have to give you grades. Otherwise, how could you apply for college? College talk already, and I haven't even started high school or finished breakfast. Will you have friends at Bloom to keep you on the straight and narrow? Abby and Nora will be there. Though neither of them are necessarily going to prioritize the straight part. Happy Pride. Sorry, I had to. Oh my god, see, I love that. Same things as today, but with Spotify. Exactly. Totally legal. I concur. They eventually stopped trying to since you were a night owl, but you would still get up and get everything done. That's fair. Like, yeah, naturally yesterday I was exhausted at 6, but like I had to get stuff done. I just don't want to do it every day. Gay? I like Nora. She seems like a sweetheart. You two are a bit of an item. Yes, Mom. Thus ends the discussion about my dating life. Confirmation was all I needed. Well, I'm just happy you'll know some people at school. Speaking of, let's get down to business. Oh no. Oh yes. Back to school shopping. Have you prepared your list? She always asks and I never do. I'll take that as a no. No. Yeah. You do have a list? You know I never make a list. Why do you even ask? Because I reminded you last weekend. Because if I get something you don't like, I'm the one who has to return it. Because I I'm not trying to pick a fight with you, Violet. But the fewer trips to the mall, the better. I know, Mom. Well, your school sent me a list of supplies you'll need, so that's easy. Good, then clothes on the other hand, and your backpack is looking a bit ratty. Clothes and a new backpack. List done. Work with me here, Violet. Shopping for a teenager isn't easy. Is that what we want? I think so. Get me some Battle Farm or Carsplosion merch. Aren't those kids things? What? Carsplosion has to be at least PG-13. There's some suggestive material. And even old people play video games these days, Mom. Oh. Y'all put a 1 in the chat if you just found out that you're old. Don't worry, you're just watching the stream of a Crypt Keeper right now. I'm talking like 30-somethings old. Ow! Okay, as 36, I feel very targeted right now. We get it! I move and there's bone dust that comes from me. I get it. Hi, Mikey. I realized I was old when I thought Fame and you said Glee. Oh no! Fame. I'm gonna live forever. I know what you're talking about though. Very good, very good. Just dig your grave. Hi, Freaky. Decomposing. I just turned 30. Welcome. Do you have your coffin yet? I just mean, do you think other kids will be showing up with cartoon book bags? It's merch, Mom. Nerd stuff is in. Be careful, you might turn to dust. You're even older. Oh my God. When liking anything musical would make you a nerd, or like liking video games before video games became popular, especially if you were femme or a girl. Oh yeah. I'll respect your request, and I'll keep the receipts just in case. See? Problem solved. Okay, I guess I have what I need. You shoved the last waffle in your face and turned to go. Where are you off to? Hanging out with Nora. Have fun with Nora and tell her I say hello. Sure, I haven't seen her in months, but that'll be the first thing I say. Oh my God, the sass is so strong with this one. Bye. Ugh. Has Mom gotten more annoying or have I changed? It's called hormones. Anybody else, were you a terror for your parents when you were like 12, 13, or was that just a me problem? I know it was me. Adds metaphorical years? Absolutely. It's prevalent still? Yeah. It still depends on what you're playing and what type of like fandoms you're in, but definitely Andy. You were not a terror. I was a raging terror. I was awful. Thanks, Doc. Not as a teen, you were quiet. I was quiet in school, but I was just so mean to my parents, mostly my mom. It was not easy trying to disobey your parent in any regard, but especially when your parent is a teacher. Whew. It definitely weren't that bad, no. Hi, Yuki. The toot on you, yeah. Probably me. Mom's too old to change. Oh. And Mom's like 41. Nora! Violet, I'm back! You sweep Nora up in your arms and spin her around. Yee! I'm happy to see you too, but also I like my ribs. Online Nora was not enough Nora. Online Nora has evolved to radically in-person Nora. And radically in-person Nora has been hoping for a radically in-person kiss. My favorite kind. Oh, smooches! I can't believe it's been months since I held her in my arms. Wow, you really missed me. The internet is awesome and everything, but virtual kisses just aren't the same. Nope. So tell me everything. How was the fantastic Filipino family vacation? I already told you everything. We talked like every day. Well then, how was your flight home? Oh my gosh, we almost missed our plane. What happened? Yuki, let's go! Congrats on the Nat 20. What a turnaround. Did you sleep in? Nope. The The time difference reverse engineered night owl Nora into normal time Nora. I was waking up in the morning. It was weird. The reason we almost missed our flight was we got stuck in my tita's front door. What? How? Did you all try to go through at the same time, like a revolving door? You're so funny. My tita had a big send-off party for us. The whole family was there. When it came time for us to leave, everyone had to personally say goodbye. It took an hour to get through all the hugging and cheek pinching. This is so funny to me, coming from a family of, like, mostly Italians, because we wouldn't say goodbye individually. We would normally wave off, or we would do the Irish goodbye, which is just like you just leave and don't say bye to anybody. By the time we got out of there, my dad was in a panic sweat, and that's before he made us run through the airport. Oh my God, very Home Alone of you. The desperate airport sprint. That's the worst. Actually, the worst was how bad we smelled when we finally landed. Yes, she's Filipino! Isn't that cool? That's so like a Hispanic fan party. Leaving takes hours, yeah? Pretty sure Marcel smelled me before he saw me. He never mentioned it. Aw, your broody buddy is nice. He even said see you at the party or whatever. That means he's super excited about it. Thought so. I really missed you, international girlfriend. I really missed you too. Oh, want to play a video game? Yes. I missed hearing your button mashing sound effects in person. Yes, I believe so. Chat, can you educate us, please? I believe Tita is grandmother. Also, let me know how my pronunciation is. I hope I'm not butchering. I'm so glad Nora's back. It was such a long summer without her. I can't believe school starts next week already. Earth to Violet! You fall into a thought hole again? Oh, yeah, just thinking about high school starting soon. Me too. I'm actually so excited for high school. Isn't that weird? Yes. Aren't you anxious about going to high school in person? Of course I am. So many humans in one place, but I'm still excited. Mom, on the other hand. Oh, aunt? Oh. Grandma, aunt? Disappear and text when you're in your car. Stargaze, thanks for the lurk, sweetheart. Ah, Tia's aunt in Spanish. Gotcha. Thank you. She'd rather homeschool you? Yeah, part of it is just worrying I'll get bullied again at school. But most of it is her being, I don't know, clingy? That sounds mean. No, it's accurate. I thought she was just that way with me, but she's even worse with my titas. She's worried over every little thing they did, and they're adults. Okay, I'm thinking it is aunt. Yeah. I'm thinking that Tita is aunt. Because she has multiples. Or Nora has multiples. So it'd be her mother's sisters, probably. Okay, cool. Thanks, everybody. I appreciate it. Wait, they're that young? I don't think so, because Nora just said that they're adults. So I think that her mom is just, likes a bit of control. What if mom's still like that with me when I'm an adult? Like, even when I move out and leave home. Like a little cartoon runaway? Yeah, with a hobo pack and a free-spirited dog that follows me on my adventures. Oh, are you talking about the kids? Yeah, they're just about to enter into high school. So let's say, what, 13, 14 years old? Yeah. No, I mean like in the future, you know? College and stuff beyond that. But that's really far into the future. A few years isn't that far away. It's nice to think about having more freedom. You know, maybe have a bit of a life. My Nora? A life? The Philippines changed you. It actually kind of did. I saw how my cousins live and met their friends. Made me wish my life could be more like theirs. And it can be. High school is my chance. Let's get you a life. This is so cute. Hi, Amanda. How are you? Also, oh, me? Tita? Simmer was trying. Oh, Simmer! Simmer, hi, I love you! How are you doing? I just mean make new friends and try new things. And I'll be right there beside you. Wow, I'm actually tearing up a little. How dare you make me feel feelings? Oh my God, am I Nora? Taria, thanks for hydrating me. Isn't it adorable? And 2 of you will be winning the game today. We're gonna do another giveaway. Well, we're gonna do our first giveaway when we come back from our break. Want to make sure I'm resting my voice. I'm just so happy we're doing this together. High school is going to be amazing. Speaking of high school and big changes, what's happening with Turkey? They gotta give the mascot suit back to Weasel Heights, right? Yep, and after that, Turkey disappears? Poof! We'll never see our friend again. You don't think Turkey will introduce themselves as whoever they become without the suit? Hi! You okay? Maybe, but Turkey barely texted me all summer, so it feels like they're already putting some distance between us. Like they're planning to make a clean break once high school starts. Hi, Simber, how are you doing today? Good to see you. Happy Friday. Oh, that's so cute, Manta. I love that. That's adorable. Or maybe they've just been busy figuring stuff out. Are they coming to the party tomorrow? Yeah, they're bringing lemon blueberry muffins. My favorite. I am Nora. So you can ask Turkey at the party what their plans are for high school. You want me to have a frank conversation with one of my good friends? Fine. I'll get out of my avoidance comfort zone and try that. Speaking of getting out of comfort zones, are you ready for the party tomorrow? Well, I'm crazy jet lagged, and there's going to be how many people? I think 11? Not including Mom and Alex, who will be locked away in Mom's room. Mom promised only to intervene in the event of disaster or unreasonable levels of rambunctiousness and shenanigans. No bananery on Mom's watch. That's still a lot of people. Good training for high school, I guess. And I know all of them, so that'll be okay, right? Right? One of those people will be me. Not sure if that helps or not. Definitely helps. I love the different faces that the characters will make over here too. Nora's so adorable. It's really nice talking to you about that stuff in person again. You smile and take Nora's hand. Sure is. Oh, cute! I love how it's basically like a rainbow banner. Party decorations, check. Woo! Look at the muffins over here. Party snacks, check. Party people? They're great. It's check. Okay, so if Colin is in the same room as Turkey Hawk, then it's definitely not Colin. Is it somebody that we've already met? The only other person that's not here that we've been introduced to is Marcel, but it's a party for Marcel. So I think it's got to be somebody that we don't know yet. Happy Pride! I know, we got until what, Monday? Is that the end of the month on Monday? I think so. Okay, everyone, Marcel's almost here, so time to hide. Why? I mean, Marcel already knows we're having a party for him. Because it's fun. Turkey dances into a hiding spot. Do, 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 do. Fine. Hannah for Jane. They're as one unit. Abby, Nora, there's a good hiding spot over there. And then we move into Wrath, right? Marcel! Welcome home! You're back, baby! Celebratory high kick spin combo. I can't do that, chat. I'm really sorry. Hey, everyone. Am I supposed to act surprised? Yes. Consider it practice for your acting career. Okay, then. What? A party? For me? Very convincing, Marcel. Oh my God, Chaos, thank you. No worries, honey. I appreciate that. After we finish up LongStory 2, our sponsor for them today, we are going to hop into The Sims a little bit later on for finishing up our Pride build. Thanks for hanging out with us today. Happy Friday. Aw, Marcel really missed us. Shrugs. Yes, I did. Hi, One Tree Sim Girl. Thanks for the lurk. Let's get this party started. Who wants to limbo? You're kidding, right? Worried I'll beat you, Abby? As if. Did the kids still say as if? Because if not, I also know that somebody around my age wrote this. All I can think of is like Abby is like the modern day equivalent of Cher Horowitz from Clueless. Can you see it? I can see it. I can see it. Yeah, Chaos, it's adorable. It's a visual novel, and our group of kids and friends, we're heading off to high school for the first time, and it's about like exploration and acceptance and friendship and being queer and budding new romances at like being 14. It's just really awesome. It is, Lauren, don't tell me the number. I don't want to know. Clueless 100%. That's what I'm saying. Hey, Turkey. Thanks for bringing muffins. Waves a wing as if to say, no problem. And I'm glad you could come to the party. Big wing sweep, turkey for, of course. It's just, I haven't seen much of you this summer, so like, I wasn't sure if you were, you know, still turkey. Pats your shoulder reassuringly. I can see you're still turkey right now, but what about next week? Shrugs. They don't know. Okay, well, I'm your friend no matter what you do. You know that, right? I'm always here for you. Nods solemnly and holds wings to heart. Aw. Okay then. You take the muffins and start to head back to the living room. You coming? Flaps twice for no. Are you okay, Turkey? Flaps once for yes, then reaches their wings back up and to the side. Of course, you gotta stretch before the dancing starts. See you out there. Who wants Turkey's homemade lemon blueberry muffins? I do. You can't pause the game to eat. You gotta make it through this level. Angry barn cat incoming. Isn't every year an anniversary for it? Be quiet. Hey, I think that turkey costume is adorable, and maybe it would be less terrifying if they spoke something. No. Could it be? I don't think so. Well, I didn't play LongStory 1, but I think that Turkey was in school. So, like, mom has to work. But you do make a good point that mom is supposed to be in the bedroom right now so that the kids can all hang out. So, we've yet to see Turkey and mom in the same room. Colin, look out! I got this. Unleash the big ball of string. True, Silver, true. Yeah, and I don't think they would have us try and date if they were mom, yeah. But we haven't seen them in the same room, like Batman. But we still have to get through the haymow. Just shove a muffin in my mouth, okay, Violet? Sure, here you go. You drop the muffin into Colin's mouth. Muffled by muffin. Flanks! And on 3, we step right and kick left. Nice, Jane. Your other left, Hannah. I knew that. I was just getting creative with moves. The amount of therapy you would need if you were dating a turkey and then later learned it was your mom. You could just take the first part of that sentence. The amount of therapy you would need if you were dating a turkey. You're freestyling. Exactly. Sure, freestyling. Dancing up an appetite? Want a muffin? Not yet. We've almost got this. I have to go to the bathroom. Now? But, Marcel, take my place. Ha, funny Jane. Not a chance. Aw, come on, Marcel. It's kind of fun. It's my party, and I'll not dance if I want to. Busts into the dance with a powerful spin. You go, Turkey. Yeah, work it, Turkey. Spotlight's all yours. Everyone gathers around chanting, go, Turkey, go, Turkey. Just like they did at last year's school dance. Incredible. This is so cute. Look at the moves. When we were picking dates at the beginning, totally forgot. I wouldn't want to see the bill. Wow, so much has changed in a year. The first time I saw Turkey Hawk at school, I thought they were just the school mascot, so confident and cool. A figment, I'm going to say a figment of my imagination. Almighty, get back here. I mean, how weird was it that my lab partner was a kid in a mascot suit? Okay, yeah, so definitely not Mom. I never thought Turkey and I would become friends. Turkey is awesome, and our group wouldn't be the same without them. Move over, Turkey. I want to try a head spin. Turkey moonwalks back to let Colin and everyone, even Marcel, bust a move. Speech. Yeah, Marcel, tell us how much you missed us. You guys are the worst. This is giving Bob's Burgers. I love you all and your family, but I hate you. I hate you. Hi, Dionysus. It really is molded to their skin, yeah. Just kidding. Thanks for the welcome home party. It's good to be back. And if I missed any drama while I was gone, you sure did. So much drama. I do not want to hear about it. What if Turkey acts it out silently? Waves wings dramatically. Yes, Turkey, you acting out the drama does not technically require me to hear it. But I'm still gonna pass. Thanks. Yes, you're all terrible. And I should tell you I'd fire you if I could. Bobby. As everybody laughs and goes back to their respective party activities, gaming, snacking, dancing, you turn to Turkey Hawk. How'd you even know about the drama when you spend most of the summer by yourself? Ruffles feathers, upset by your comment. I never said you were a friendless loser. Stomps a foot and twirls tail feathers while slapping wings together. Okay, we're making this worse right now. I'm not accusing you of hiding from your friends. Annoyed, Turkey strides away. Oh no. That escalated fast. Why'd Turkey get so mad at me? Hey Violet, have you seen Nora? I wanted to ask if she has the same lunch period I do at Youth in Bloom. I haven't. Maybe she found somewhere quiet to introvert for a while? I bet she's plotting our next epic battle farm raid. No, please. Or she's in the bathroom. She's not. I just left the bathroom. I think she went home already. Not without saying goodbye. I'll go look for her. Nora? Why do I have the urge to look in the closet? Nora's not a toddler. She wouldn't be hiding behind the winter coats. But still, it wouldn't hurt to check. So why don't we circle back to that theory about it being Mom? So it seems that we have a loose turkey skin in our home. So like, it can't be our little brother because he's so small. I don't think it could be him unless he's wearing stilts. You're saying it's Nora? I don't think so because Turkey and Nora were in the same room together. Loose turkey skin. A skin turkey. I'm sorry. Hi, Briarfay. It's Nora and she never left. I don't think so. Turkey's suit. It's empty. You scream. I'm going to put on my detective hat. The mystery of the missing mascot. Detective Violet is on the case. I wish I had like a monocle right now. Me too. Who are you talking to? It is in fact not Nora. Nora's right here. Turkey's head. It's detached. You hear footsteps approaching. What happened? There's a collective gasp as everyone sees the empty mascot suit. Well, now we know the suit comes off. Of course it comes off. There's a person in there. There was. Where'd they go? Turkey wouldn't just disappear on us. This is a joke, right? Whose idea was it to make my party a fake murder mystery? Call Maggie, please. If it's a joke, no one told me. Or me. What should we do? Let's text Turkey. On it. Hannah, Jennifer, and Jane simultaneously tap out texts on their phones. Still unread. Same. Rude. Hi, Sandra. How are you? Chat, make sure you click the link in the chat if you want to find out more about Long Story 2. Perhaps purchase it if you're into it. Things got a little too quiet for my liking. Okay, Mom is here, but Turkey is gone. Your mom comes down the stairs and sees the empty mascot suit in the closet. Well, that is unexpected. Turkey's gone and didn't tell any of us. Maybe this is Turkey's way of telling you all the party is over and everyone should go home. Oh, maybe not. Well, it kind of seems like it's a choose your own adventure. I think there's like predetermined plot lines and you get to choose how those things go. No, they would have told us this way. Khan flaps his arms and high kicks out the door. Can confirm that is Turkey Hawk's sign for party is over. Okay, Turkey Mom. Maybe Violet's mom is right. Really? How? We all know Turkey has to give the suit back to Weasel Heights before high school starts. So in a way, the party that is Turkey Hawk is over. That's so sad. And also, strangely poetic. Yeah, very Turkey Hawk. But what if that's not it? What if something awful happened to Turkey? I don't see any sign of foul play. Get it? Foul play for Turkey? Do you get it? This is gonna ruin freshman year. I'm so invested. Very punny, Violet's mom. Thanks, Em. I can't believe you're joking at a time like this, Mom. I know you're upset, Violet. Of course I'm upset. One of our friends have gone missing. We're just standing around, cracking jokes. Should we be cracking eggs? Yes, it's a shock, and you have every right to be upset, but I'm sure Turkey Hawk is fine. How can you be sure? Chat, I'm gonna snooze the ads until we take our break, okay? It's a mom instinct. Ugh! I don't like how much this is matching up to actually be Mom. But it can't possibly be Mom, because why would Mom go to school? Like, it can't be her. Like, it just can't. She couldn't be her lab partner. She's got a job. Now it's time to go home. It's late. Turkey will probably text you all tomorrow. After exchanging a few worried looks, your friends shuffle out. This is just really unsettling. I don't think so. I think Mom could possibly be a red herring, though. How am I supposed to sleep knowing that Turkey is out there without their suit? Knock, knock. Come in. Thanks for letting me come in. You would have come in anyways, wouldn't you? In this instance, yes, but only because I wanted to check on you before I go to bed. Are you okay? I'm mainly confused. Like, why did Turkey leave the suit in my closet? Was it something I said? What kind of message is Turkey leaving? What does abandon my identity at my friend Violet's house truly mean? She could just be a hover mom, yeah. Your money is on Nora. Turkey has been absent all summer and Nora was in the Philippines. Ooh, you got a point. You got a point. Sisterhood of the traveling suit. That would be stinky. Maybe we're supposed to be the next Turkey. Oh, like we'll be the new high school mascot? Sweetie, I wouldn't read into it until Turkey reaches out to you. Maybe it was simply time for them to leave the suit and they just happened to be at our house when it happened. What? Turkey used our coat closet like a Superman phone booth? Maybe? I think you're just trying to make me better so I feel better so I can sleep. Can't get anything past you, but yes, you need sleep. I'm sure Turkey Hawk will message you in the morning. What if they don't? I know some people who know some people who can find out if Turkey Hawk is okay. What does that mean? You do? Who? I'm not at liberty to reveal my sources. It's Principal Chevy, isn't it? Of course. Now get some shut-eye. Okay. Night, Mom. Good night, honey. We're the chosen one. Mom! You lie there for a bit, phone still in your hand. Send Turkey a text. Turkey, please text me. I'm really worried about you. It's like the Santa Claus. You put on the suit and you're the turkey. You wait a long time for a reply that doesn't come. Oh, I just missed that. Okay. Sorry, chat. I clicked too fast. This is going to be the next day. A text ping wakes you up. Is it Turkey? Please let it be Turkey. You grab your phone. Oh, just a spam text. Delete. Sorry. Still no message from Turkey. It's just someone who wears a suit? No. It's somebody that embodies Santa. Assemble your friend network for a mission. Find Turkey. Friendship group. Assemble! Yeah, yeah, yeah! Yay, I'm part of the friendos. Me too. Ugh, group chat. Way too early for this many exclamation marks. One of you must have heard from Turkey, our MIA friendo. Oh shoot, I was hoping you had. Same here. Same. Yeah, no news here. Did Turkey no, that was my alarm to make sure to still do the giveaway, but we have to wait. I'm waiting like a couple more minutes to take our break. Hi, Steph, how are you? I looked through their social media after the party yesterday, but they haven't updated in a couple of days. Sorry. No one's heard anything? This isn't good. Oh no. Sorry, chat. Had to do a little sneeze moment in there. Not to be a downer, folks, but maybe Turkey just doesn't want to be found right now. I get that, but I'm really worried about them. We have to find Turkey Hawk and make sure they're okay. Thanks, pal. Thank you. So who's with me? Me. Except I'm in the middle of something, like right now. And no, Abby, I'm not gaming, but as soon as I'm done, also in the middle of something. Sorry. Prior commitment. Pretty busy since I just got back. Sorry. This is way too much and I'm so unbelievably jet lagged, so I'm gonna go back to bed for a little bit. You're all useless! Rude. Come on, Violet. I can't legally kill you. If you're all gonna do nothing, I guess I'll just investigate on my own. Okay, pals. We're gonna pause it there while we take our break. I'll be able to let the ads run. Okay, when we come back from break, we're gonna do a giveaway for our first out of 2 Steam keys. Thanks again to Bloom Digital for sponsoring today's stream segment and YouTube VOD, and for giving us 2 stream keys for giveaways. Yay! Okay, so BRP question for you. Out of everybody that we've met so far, who do you think is Turkey Hawk? Do you think it's Mom? You think it's Nora? Also, Marcel was gone. It could have been Marcel as well. Let me know who you think Turkey Hawk is. We'll be back in a few minutes. Stay tuned for ads. Thanks for sitting through them. I'll see y'all in a minute. Hello, besties. Welcome back. Hi. Jennifer, thanks for the lurk. I really appreciate it. Oh, no. Oh, my game just crashed. Oh, I hope it's saved. Okay, well, listen. Let's come over here for a second. I'll get the game back up and running. I'm going to do a giveaway right now. So, if you would like to enter, !join. This is going to be for LongStory 2. It is on Steam. !join in the chat. I'm going to get the game back up. I don't think it was me. 1, 2, 3, okay, coming back through again. I don't think it automatically saved. It's not showing up in my slots. Yes, the giveaway is worldwide. Oh my god, I'm gonna cry, dude. That sucks. Let's see if we can get back. Hi, Found. Welcome on in. Hi, Swaz. Well, if we have to redo it, I agree. Let's pick turkey, because then I think that we can get more of it. And listen, we'll get back there. I'm just not going to read through everything again. I'll do the new stuff with turkey, get back to the party, see what happens. We'll go through it pretty fast. It'll be okay. It'll be okay. !join, last call. Also, Twitch Whispers must be open, okay? Because I got the codes for you right here, baby. And you'll be able to play as soon as I send it over. Hi, Twiggle. Thanks for the lurk. Okay. Thanks, everybody. Mods, make sure you get in on this, too. I got Lauren and I got Almighty. Yeah, unfortunately, the game crashed. So, I've been having some computer problems lately. I'm positive it was on my end and not the game's end. I don't know how to save, so when we get in, let's make sure we save. Exactly, that's what chat said. I'm like, let's pick turkey and see if we can get to the bottom of this issue, and then we'll just speed through the rest of it. It'll be cool. Okay, we ready? So our winner of LongStory 2, thank you so much again to Bloom Digital, is Rayella! Rayella, congratulations. Give me one moment. I'm gonna message you right now. Just bear with me, my love. Raiella. There you are. Just sent to you in a Twitch DM, in a Twitch whisper. Congrats, honey. I still have one more to give away, which will be towards the end of our sponsored segment, okay? Can we get some thank yous to Bloom Digital? This is so nice. A lot of the sponsors that we do don't have game key giveaways, so this is even better. Happy Pride. I hope that you enjoy this. I have been loving it. I would love to do more visual novels. So, if you haven't already, click the link in the chat. Get LongStory 2 today on Steam and itch.io. Thank you! Okay, let's get back into it. Oh, wait. Wait, it did! It just didn't show up in the slot. Okay, it did save. Chat, it's saved! It's saved! Oh, thank God. So, it's the beginning of the day. It's the beginning of the next day after the party. Thank God. We get some love and hype in the chat. Thank God. Okay, so I'm going to run through this because we already did this, okay? Spam text. I already did the mission find turkey. We're going to go through this. And everybody's busy. Remember that? Okay? Remember I said you're all useless. Okay. How can they all just make excuses when our friend is literally missing? I guess it's fair that Nora's tired, but maybe she'll tell me when she's planning to get up. I know you're jet laggy, but... Girl in the chair! Help me out when? Girl in the beds. Honk shoe. Actually passing out. Will text you when I wake, promise. Just redeemed. Awesome, hope you have so much fun! Listen, if you find out who Turkey is, don't tell us, okay? But you're also like another detective for us. It does. It does have an autosave feature, so I'm glad that we found that out together. So, It seems like if you're playing it for the first time, it's just gonna auto go to slot 1, which, fabulous, darling, fabulous. Okay, well, do I wait for Nora to wake up or... Oh, another message. Don't worry, everyone. I'm on it. Whoa, where'd Hannah come from? I added her to the group chat. Hope you guys don't mind. I do mind. You call us useless, but add Hannah? I added Hannah yesterday. That does not make it better. I keep forgetting Violet befriended Hannah while I was gone. That's right. It's all your fault, Marcel. Feel better, Abby? Yes. I have an announcement. Drum roll, please. Just tell us. Turkey spotting. Click through, please. A 24/7 online tip line for all things turkey hawk. This is so Gossip Girl coded. Oh, good. A semi-anonymous public forum on the internet. Nothing bad ever comes from those. Burble, burble. Oh, sorry, I missed the drum roll. The middle school flashbacks, I know. It's actually not a bad idea. Huh. Tons of people are already sharing sightings. Not from today, but where they've seen turkey in the past. At school, at sports games, at the park. No surprise people want to snap pics of someone walking around in a giant bird costume. But this could actually be super helpful. I wonder if Hannah... Oh, is she here? Checking out turkey spotting. Hannah, how'd you get into my house? Through the front door, silly. Your mom said to tell you that you slept through breakfast and you're in lunch territory now. She's not the boss of me. Breakfast isn't a time, it's a state of mind. I personally love having breakfast for dinner. Anybody else in here? It's my favorite. You're such a weirdo. Takes one to know one. Yep, I know you so well now. Really, did you, Twiggle? Yeah, this is the sequel. It's LongStory 2, so it's basically season 2 and a continuation of season 1. But there is a recap if you're jumping into it for the first time. Big breakfast for dinner, gal. What do you have for breakfast? For breakfast or breakfast for dinner? I love eggs and hash browns. That is the bare minimum. Waffles. Not really into toast much anymore. I feel like I'm more waffles than pancakes. Bacon, obviously. I'm surprised no one else came to help you find Turkey Hawk. Real subtle, Hannah. She just wants me to think she's a better friend than the others. I'm just a better friend than the others. Me too. I have hash browns every day. Either from Dunks or my frozen ones that I make at home. Biscuits and gravy, pancakes. I feel you, Malice. I can't eat right away when I wake up either. French toast? Do you make it yourself, Doc, or do you have a place that you like getting takeout from? Yeah, I got that. So our first couple of clues have already rolled in on turkey spotting. With suspects implicated. How exciting is that? Wow, like a real detective case. Based on some initial sleuthing by your intrepid assistant. My assistant? You? I have reason to believe that Turkey left the party very upset. Uh-oh. I upset Turkey. I said that thing about them spending all summer by themselves. Does Hannah know? Suspect number 1. Now, I know what you're going to say, but hear me out. Abby. Abby? Interesting. Of course Hannah suspects Abby, but Hannah, hear me out. Promise I'm not just blaming her over nothing. We have multiple witnesses. Let me read the posts. Oh, that sounds amazing, Lauren. Oh my God, you're making me hungry right now. Really, Chaos? I love that. Yes, the bacon grease is everything. Very nice, Paris. Makes the best food. Can you just walk there? Oh, I love that. All my favorite breakfast places I can't walk to. Witness 1. At the party, Abby accused Turkey of ruining her dance. She was really mad about it. Witness 2. After TH stole Abby's spotlight, I heard she pushed TH into the closet and tore their head off. No way, Abby wouldn't do that. Wouldn't she? Abby does have a temper. I know, Yuki. Chat makes me hungry all the time. I know, but it's one thing to be angry and another to actually hurt someone. Especially someone super gentle like Turkey. I'm just presenting you with leads. But if this witness account is factual, and Abby was indeed the person who removed Turkey Hawk's head, that means Abby saw the kid in the mascot suit. Abby could identify them. My thoughts exactly, Detective Violet. Kate, we love you. Enjoy. Hope you're having so much fun. You don't know anybody? That's okay. I hope that you're mingling, taking some time for yourself. I hope you're still enjoying your time. The Bob Evans are my favorite mashed potatoes. Possum, I knew I liked you. My little possum poodle. All right, so that's the first lead. You said there's more? Suspect number 2, Colin. What? Colin? Come on. A witness saw Colin trying to rip off Turkey's suit during the dance. Apparently, the tussle even left behind some feathers. Evidence. They didn't witness the end of the tussle, but if Colin tried to tear the suit off Turkey, would Colin really do that? He and Turkey have fought over the mascot suit before. That's true. Of course, Colin and Abby are. What do they call themselves? Frou-frous? Friends who are also cousins. Right, so they could have been collaborating. Maybe they both know who Turkey Hawk is. So, who do we interrogate first? Interrogate? Yeah, they're both suspects. We gotta grill them in a non-barbecue way. So, who's it going to be? Okay, chat, I'm gonna say I can't see either of them having this issue with them. I'm gonna say Colin just because Colin fits like the physical stature. So let's say Colin. Really? You told me that the last time and I was so surprised that Bob Evans was a physical place because I've only ever seen the frozen stuff. And the taters too, yeah. Iced coffee, interesting. Good, because I've already called him. Oh, okay. Across the internet. Hannah Banana, what's shakin' bacon? Where were you the night of Marcel's welcome back party? You mean last night? Don't play coy with us. We know what happened between you and Turkey. Spill it. Turkey? I'm gonna let Hannah do her thing. Colin got nervous right away. Is the rumor true? We know all about your little tussle on the dance floor. Oh my gosh, I bet you were just waiting for the opportunity to tear that suit off. No, wait, finally, after all this year, you get revenge on Turkey Hawk for rejecting your shark brick mascot. It's a brick shark, but then bam, it's murder on the dance floor. But you better not kill the groove, DJ. Gonna turn this goddamn house right round. I don't even think those are the lyrics, but 3 blocks from your house? No kidding. Okay, it's an Ohio thing. Okay. That's not, there were feathers at the scene of the crime, and we have it on good authority that you tore them off. Hannah, maybe let him actually talk. Sorry about bad cop, Hannah. We're searching for Turkey, and I did it. Oh! It was him? What? Whispers, wow, I'm really good at this. It was me. It's all my fault Turkey disappeared. I knew it. Tell us what happened, Colin. I'm so sorry. I promise I'm going to make it right. It's just that we can't let him make excuses. We already know exactly what happened. The tussle on the dance floor, the way he cornered Turkey and violently tore off their mascot head. What? I'd never do that. Don't play games with us, perp. It's even funnier when you think about that these are supposed to be 14-year-olds. Hannah, let Colin talk. I promise there was no head pulling last night. You know what? Tune into my live stream. It'll explain everything. Live stream? Here's the linkage. The plot thickens. What the hell is Jungle Gyms? Corn statues. I almost thought it said, you will feed me to the corn statues. She's seen a lot of, like, CSI and Criminal Minds. She's got to take it down a notch. Yeah, they're supposed to be 14 years old. And that's cracking me up even more. I love it. I love it. Maybe, Almighty. You are right. She is being very aggressive about it. Oh, you like my knee? Sorry, I got PJ pants on today. Oh my god. Let's just watch. Oh, that's cute. Why is the video all dark and blurry? This is for you, Turkey. Here we go. Is Colin sneaking somewhere? I wonder. Halt! Intruder! Was that your little brother? The live stream is coming from inside the house! What do you mean? Kia! Ah! Ouch! Whoa! Help! Colin's here? You and Hannah run out of your room following the sounds of struggle down the hall until you find Alex holding the closet door closed. Fear not, puny mortals. Threat neutralized. What threat? Help me! I'm freaking out in here! Alex, let Colin out. It's not Colin, it's a burglar! No, I promise you it's Colin. Colin's a burglar? I'm telling Mom you're friends with a burglar! Alex steps away from the closet door and Colin stumbles out. Holy crap, you got a mean swing, little guy. I'm a purple belt. Fists of steel. I know, he got beat up by a 6-year-old. What is even going on right now? I don't know. I was hoping you could tell me. Let me rephrase. Colin, why did you sneak into my house? And how does this explain anything about what happened to Turkey? I need to start at the beginning. Well, not that far back. Well, we gotta rewind to at least yesterday. Out with it, suspect number 1. And Robin begged, please. Suspect number 1? Ignore her. You were saying? Okay, so there I was at the party. Turkey Hawk and I were busting moves left, right, and center. One move we'd been working on is called the Thunder Burger Twist. I was trying to do the lift portion, but I grabbed Turkey's tail feathers and I accidentally tore some off. I'm the worst. Colin, you're not the worst. But still, why was he in the closet? That just sounds like an accident. I know, but it must have really upset Turkey if it made them give up their suit. A likely story indeed. Huh? This was no accident. It was suit sabotage. There I was, barbecue sauce on my fingies. It's no secret that you, Colin, always wanted a school mascot with more teeth. Sure, but not enough to damage the Turkey Hawk suit. I have too much respect for the mascot hustle. Ugh, dead mascot bird alert. It's still in there. Alex points at the pile of feathers and foam in the closet. Yeah, Alex, that's the Turkey Hawk costume. No, there's another one. What? You lean in for a closer look. There is another mascot bird costume in the closet. Huh. Colin, were you bringing Turkey a new mascot costume? Yes. Ugh, Colin, still trying to force his stupid shark brick costume on the Turkey Hawk. No, I give you the Brick Hawk. Because Turkey likes being a bird. I get that now. I've evolved on it. That's so dumb. Brick Shark, Brick Turkey, Brick Hawk. It doesn't matter. You're trying to force a costume onto Turkey Hawk that you think is cooler. Cut Colin some slack, Hannah. I know it's not the best call, but his heart was in the right place. No, Hannah's right. She is? I am? I mean, of course I am. It's true. Turkey let me be me, but oh my gob. Alex pokes the Brick Hawk mascot suit. I recognize this. The sewing dude made it. What? Who? I watched him make it. I watched his hands make it. The sewing dude is mysterious and never shows his face on camera. Suddenly, Alex stares up at Colin, gobsmacked. You're the sewing dude from the internet! Wow, I've never met a fan before. Not little bro coming through, I know! So, the sewing dude? Yeah, that's me. Look at, he's so shy! He's blushing. I'm guessing the name is pretty self-explanatory? Yeah, I like to sew, and I'm actually pretty good at it. But I kept it secret because I thought people, especially my brothers, would make fun of me. The only person who knew was Turkey. Why didn't you tell the rest of us? We're not your brothers. But never make fun of you for doing something you enjoy. I know. I guess I got my own hang-ups about it, huh? Slay King! Hi, Rainy! I know, isn't that cool, dude? Oh my god. That's so freaking neat. Rainy, how are you doing today? We all have hang-ups. We'd understand. I guess. Did you tell Turkey because you figured they'd understand? I had to tell Turkey. I had to fix their suit. Remember that wild halftime high kick they did during playoffs? They split a seam in their shorts. I saw that. Sewing dude to the rescue. Okay then, can we maybe get back on track here? Yeah, need me to beat up anybody else? That's not what no, we don't need you to beat up anyone else. You were dismissed, Karate Kid. Old people are so boring. Bye, sewing dude. It would have been such your type at that age. I love it. I love it. I love when kids are accurate. I mean, anybody is just authentically who they are. So Colin fixed Turkey's suit, which means Colin has seen Turkey out of the suit. Holy crap, did you? Nope, Turkey had protocols in place. Knew it wasn't going to be that easy. Sorry, promise I'd help more if I knew something. Guess I'll take both suits home now and fix up Turkey's tail feathers. Colin seems a bit too eager to get out of here now. Is there something he's not telling us? I'm gonna press him for more info. Not so fast, Colin. I think you know more than you're telling us. He definitely does, Detective Violet, because Colin was at the Weasel Heights mascot tryouts. Yeah? So were a lot of people, like you. What? Don't change the subject. I promise I'm not secretly Turkey. I don't even know how that would work. Maybe holograms? But you were involved in the tryouts, so you must have seen Turkey before they had the suit. Probably, but there were really a lot of people there. Hi, Smuddles, how are you? Yeah, old people like Vi. Watch your tooth, Willie. You been better? Oh, I'm sorry to hear that, Rainy. 7 weeks, my gosh. Listen, it's gonna fly by. And, I hope everything turns out great at the end of it. I'm just really sorry you gotta go through that now. Light at the end of the tunnel, but the tunnel still sucks, my friend. And it was like 2 years ago. I don't remember who all was trying out or which kid got the gig. Another dead end. Nightbot, you take that back. Watch your tooth is such a Violet threat. Yeah. Remember, I still have one good fist. Don't make me use it. Maybe not. I remember Jen was there because she had a friend trying out. How do you know Jen had a friend trying out? Because I asked her and she said, I have a friend trying out. So Jen might know who Turkey is. Can I go now? I know they're made of foam, but these suits are actually super heavy. Sure. Bye, Colin. Later, Tata. Should we follow up with Abby or just talk to Jen now? Abby. Definitely Abby. What? Are your personal feelings about Abby affecting the case, Hannah? No, I just think Abby is the better lead. I think we should talk with Jen. I think Abby is going to be a dead end, personally. What do you think, chat? Hi, Steph. I don't think anybody has beaten Almighty's snack percentage yet today. Jen. Or we drop the investigation and let Turkey go? Uh-oh. I think Hannah is involved. What? That's one heck of an about face from like 1 minute ago. I was just thinking that maybe Em's right. Turkey will come to us when they're ready. But Turkey is my friend and I'm worried about them. Turkey's okay. If they weren't, we would have heard reports of a missing kid or something. I guess that's true. Great. Case closed. I'm going to head home to moderate turkey spotting. Can't leave the site unmoderated or the bots will take over. Bye. That was suspicious. Hannah was totally game to investigate Abby, but when I wanted to talk to Jen, Hannah bolted. Does Jen know something that incriminates Hannah? Chat, the plot is thickening right now. Or did Hannah really just think about what Em said? What do I do now? We're gonna continue the investigation, obviously. Time to text Jen and see what she knows. Jen, one head of the three-headed beast that makes up Hannah for Jen. She's the sporty one. She also has a crush on Colin. How should I approach this? Be direct. Sorry to bug you, but I've got a question. Proceed. So I want to make sure Turkey is okay. Colin said you were at the mascot tryouts because you had a friend trying out? Yeah, a friend from elementary school. Oh, cool. We went to the same elementary school, so maybe I know them? Did your friend get the mascot gig? Even if they did, and my friend was Turkey Hawk, why would I tell you? Because I'm really worried? The thick doobie plottin'. Oh, you're spared from the Miracle Whip for now? Good. I was going to say, we could have you as an appetizer, but, if Miracle Whip is involved, I'd rather not. Give me mayo. Some people don't want everyone in their business all the time, like me, right now. Can you at least tell me who your friend was? Wow, you really can't take a hint. No wonder you have an online girlfriend. Bet she likes the distance so you're not always in her business. Can you please just answer the question? Okay, if you're just gonna keep bugging me, yeah, I was at the tryouts. Yeah, one person totally rocked it and became Turkey. I'm pretty sure I recognize the dance moves even in the suit, so yeah, I might know who Turkey is. Who is it? So here's the thing. I never confronted Turkey about it in case they didn't want people to know who they were. Because I respect people's boundaries, unlike some people. Don't text me about this again or I'll block you. She's so rude! So close. Jen might know who Turkey is, but there's no way she's going to tell me. Now what? Whoa, the turkey spotting page suddenly blew up. Hundreds of comments, dozens of threads. It's going to suck sorting through all this. A text from Hannah already? If you're still looking into the turkey stuff, check out the turkey spotting phone booth thread. Interesting. Jen does have a point, seriously, about the boundaries thing, but Jen could have said it in such a nicer way and not be mean to us about our girlfriend. That was uncalled for. Definitely mean girl behavior. Jen's not a girl's girl. Okay, let's check this out. Oh, Mom. Violet, can I talk to you for a minute? The timer starts now. Apologies, I know your time is precious. Your sarcasm counts towards the overall time. 5, 6. Your brother sprained his thumb while I was out shopping. Something about a burglar. Though since the police aren't here, I assume this was an Alex false alarm. Sorry, it's my fault. I should have been keeping a closer eye on Alex. Hannah came over and I've just been so distracted with this turkey situation. That makes sense and I appreciate the apology. But why don't you tell me what happened first and we'll see if one's needed. Okay. Colin snuck in and Alex freaked out and karate chopped him or something. I was distracted with Hannah and the turkey hawk search. But I promise as soon as I heard something going on, I, intervened. I just need to find Turkey Hawk and make sure they're okay. Alex is fine, by the way. Exactly. He can't play video games for a couple of days, so what? I'll let this one slide because I know you're upset. Also, I came up to tell you that Turkey's safe. They haven't vanished. Why didn't you lead with that, Mom? I called Bob last night. Who's Bob? Principal Chevy. I wanted to make sure Turkey Hawk got home safe after the hullabaloo. So I called your former principal and he checked to make sure. He even posted about it on the Weasel Heights social media account. Seriously? How's this not ended up on Turkey Spotting? Turkey Spotting? You grab your phone and pull up Weasel Heights Insta Facegram. Reading aloud, I spoke with the student formerly known as Turkey Hawk today and they are safe and sound at home. Please join me in wishing them well in their future endeavors. So, did Principal Chevy say where Turkey lives? No, Violet, that would be highly unethical. And regardless of the legal ramifications, sometimes people need space. Now that you know Turkey is okay, can you give them that space and leave it be? This really is about boundaries. So I think at this point, even though Jen was cruel in what she said, she did have a point and Mom has a point too. As much as this hurts us knowing that our friend is safe, I think that's the most important thing. So I'm going to say okay. Okay. Hi, Alex. How are you doing today? I think that's for the best, Violet. Turkey will come to you when they're ready. And I'm sure they'll appreciate that you gave them some time to figure things out. And please do your best to keep an eye on Alex next time I'm out. And I'll talk with him about not whipping out his karate to solve every problem. Finally, she's gone. Now let's take a look at this turkey spotting thread. Weasel Girl wrote, I saw Turkey go backstage in the gym, but they never came out. These two did. I don't know if that's the costume, though. That's Marcel and Jane, with bags stuffed with turkey hawk feathers. Or is that the actual turkey hawk mascot costume? Dun dun! Episode 3. Theories and Secrets. Why would Marcel and Jane have the turkey hawk suit? They don't. Turkey's a cryptid! What the? That's ridiculous. Yeah, those bags seem very small for that huge suit. I feel like, again, this is a red herring. This is a distraction. Yeah, it's a weasel. It's a weasel. I think that's so funny. I'm just trying to help. I'm gonna go to school for he reads from his notepad, sounding out the word. Cryptozoology. Turkey hawk's my first case study. Lucky me, I get a little brother who's both a karate master and an aspiring cryptozoologist. Alex, it's honestly about friendship and diversity and romances with a group that's about from 12 to 14 years old. They're just about to start high school. It's a visual novel. It's really fun. Cryptozoo? Oh no. I've got a couple of wild theories of my own. I'll add them to my notes. Alex takes out a blue pencil crayon. He's careful with his right thumb, which has a colorful bandage on it. Ready? Ready. My theory is that Turkey Hawk is not a cryptid, but a human in a mascot suit. And Marcel and Jane are involved because I don't know if they take turns wearing the suit. They could be just taking care of the suit. They're the caretakers of the suit. And if they help Turkey lug the suit around, they have to know who's under it. That's a boring theory. Boring doesn't mean it's not true. Alex, if you or anybody else want to click the link in chat, it'll tell you a little bit more info about LongStory 2. It did recently just come out this last week. I think it was actually on Thursday. I still think my cryptid theory makes the most sense. Sure, a species no one has proof even exists makes more sense than Jane and Marcel being involved. It does. Know who'd agree with me? Mom! Let's go ask her. Hold on, Mr. Cryptozoologist. Let's not involve Mom in the case. Mom wanted me to stop looking for Turkey and will not be happy to hear I haven't. Well, I thought it would give us an out. I was trying to respect boundaries. Kazoo? Bold of you to assume it's not me that I pre-recorded for this very moment. Plastic whistle things? Yeah, kazoo. Yeah. You want me to keep a secret from Mom? Yes. Time for a sibling bribe. For a free come in my room pass. We're not doing chores. Ooh. With many, many conditions. And only for a couple of weeks. I'll drop the paperwork and forward it to your legal team. Pleasure doing business with you, little weirdo. What do you want? What do you want? You come here. You want pets? I can't come over there. Mama's working. Come here. Charlotte, come here. Come here. Mama's gonna pet you very gentle with her bad hand. Sorry, chat. Dog mom. It's over here somewhere, but I need to clean. Little weirdo. So is it Violet? Would you? You know what? All right, that's dealt with. Now I need someone to help me figure out what's up with Marcel, Jane, and Turkey Hawk. And the best person is... Okay, Hannah's really aggressive, and I feel like Hannah has something that she's also hiding. I'm going to say Nora. When you're up, have you seen that vid on the turkey spotting thread? I am both up and I have seen the video. That was a quick nap. Yeah, Mom decided that even though we're all jet lagged and trying to catch up on sleep, that now was the perfect time to vacuum the entire house. So yeah, I saw the video. Everyone has. Oh, dang. Jane and Marcel are Turkey's suit caretakers, so they'd know who Turkey is under the suit. Think you might be jumping to conclusions. Guess you haven't seen my post on the thread? Not yet. Here's Nora's comment. Those bags of costume materials do not add up to a turkey hawk suit. Who called that in chat? Who called that? It's similar material, but it's not the full suit. It's way too big. She's gonna whip out her Snoopy again. I'll do it. Wow. Nora attached a scale drawing of how Turkey's head can't even fit into that bag. And she zoomed in into the feathers poking out of Jane's bag with the comment. These are pheasant feathers, not turkey hawk feathers. Still doesn't explain what Marcel and Jane were doing. Still, Nora's awesome. Time to pay my respects to Nora the Wise. But of course, Hannah's texting me now. So? What? Did you know about this? Jane and Marcel? What about them? The video. So what? It was probably some drama class thing. Jane's not in drama. Maybe she was just in the hall and Marcel asked her to help carry stuff. Unlikely. Jane thinks loitering is for losers. So she was there on purpose, which means Marcel's hanging out with Jane. So he can hang out with people, but he kept it a secret. So Marcel and Jane are hiding something. Maybe they're secretly dating. We need to find out what it is. New mystery. Yeah, I can solve 2 mysteries at once. Yeah, you can, but let's focus on Marcel and Jane. Bye. The little kissy face. Conversations with Hannah are always a bit concerning. I probably don't even want to know what she's up to. Gotta message Nora and let her know the logical powers are truly God tier. Can't believe I fell for that video. My detective skills stink. Bah! Still heart you though. Thanks. But, oh no. What were Jane and Marcel doing? I didn't even know Marcel hung out with Jane. Am I really that clueless? You are a detective with no clues. Harsh, but fair. I wish I had your skills. Hey, what did you see at the party? Any turkey clues? No, nothing. Really? What about when Turkey interrupted Abby's dance? Nora? Oh yeah, Turkey and Abby really lit up the dance floor. What? No, Abby stormed off in a huff. Nora wasn't around during that, remember? We think that Nora either left the house or was hiding someplace. Right, and Turkey stormed into the closet. No, Turkey kept dancing. Like you weren't even there. Wait, were you? I'm sorry. What for? I didn't see what happened because I was hiding in your room. Aw, you okay? I'm fine now. What happened? I got kind of overwhelmed at the party and I was exhausted. I just needed a quiet place. And no one was in your room, so I chilled there for a bit. And I may have hidden in your closet. Maybe. Possibly. Just a little closet time as a treat. I should have been there for you. No way! You had a party of dancing and chaos to manage. And I promise I just needed to be on my own for a bit. Away from the dancing and chaos. That's totally fair, but just remember I'm here for you if you need me. And my room is always open for chill time. Just tell me you need some chill time next time, okay? That way I can quarantine it off. No humans allowed. I'm a fan of the occasional no humans. And so I know not to go in there and fart. Ew, why would you do that? Pro party tip. If you must let one rip, find an empty room for a sneak release. Chat, you go into random rooms at a house party and fart in there? I don't. I will cover mine up with a cough. Like a lady. Gross. I ever told you that you're so romantic? I'm the worst. I know this. You know this. You adore this about me. It's true. Know what? I did see something weird at the party. Or someone. What? Who? Some kid M was talking to outside. I didn't see the kid at the party, but I spent half the time in your room, so... Was this right before I found the mascot suit in the closet? Oh, yeah. You think this kid is Turkey Hawk out of the suit? Yeah. What did the kid look like? Did you get a pic? No, sorry, but I could draw you a sketch. That would be awesome. Thanks, bestest clue spotter. The party, not your toot. Depends on how loud it is. Okay. I was like, you can gauge? I'm like, wow, that's really special about you, Moon. I totally won't be rearranging that audio out of context. Oh, great. I gave Almighty more of a job to do. You're welcome. You'd be so bored without me, Almighty. Thanks, sweetheart. I should ask Em about the mystery kid. Oh, the turkey spotting thread is blowing up again. Wait, is this Marcel and Jane? Didn't I say that I think that they're secretly dating? Is that Jane and Marcel? In a passionate embrace? What the heck is going on? Is everyone hiding stuff? Dun 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 dun. Sorry, I didn't mean to do the Law and Order one. Should have done the Jeopardy song. I saw the latest on turkey spotting. What the heck? I know. Now I'm pondering the nature of friendship and secrets. Mood. Maybe you need a break from sleuthing mode. Maybe a hangout with your girlfriend at her house. I've got something I want to show you. Plus, I'd love to see you. Isn't that adorable? They're on a LARP date. I've never been on a LARP date. Whoa, hang out at Nora's house? That's huge. She's never, ever suggested we hang out there before. I really want to see Nora, especially if she's inviting me over. But I also need to find Turkey and make things right if this is my fault. I'm going to say yes, let's hang out. Because we can, like, brainstorm and still find Turkey together. Oh my god, I can't believe you're coming over. So excited. I get to see the inner sanctum of Nora. And I have to clean my room before you get here. Looks like my suitcase exploded. See you soon. Episode 4, Clues Spotting. Okay, you can't see, but I'm going to turn this around. So, just based off of this kid's build, they're giving Turkey Hawk. So, I'm wondering if this could also be a clue that we're not seeing right now. Also, huge shout out to Chaotic Good Paladin, aka one of our community members, because I know they would ride at dawn for this t-shirt. I think that's so rad. So rad. You practically skip through the park, excited for your date with Nora. Almost excited enough to stop worrying about Turkey Hawk. You pass by a group of LARPers. Over their shouts you hear someone playing guitar. That sounds like M. Oh, there's M. And there they are. Should I stop to ask M about the mystery kid from the party? Yeah. If I do, I'll be late for my date. Oh, no. Can we just text Nora? You all good? You smell something funny in here? Yeah. I don't know if it's the AC, but it smells like dusty. You smell that? It doesn't smell like gas, but it smells dusty. No? I don't think it's me. I put on deodorant today. I am a dusty baby, thank you. Are they really rainy? I love that. That's so cute. There's a D20 with wings as well. Yeah. Did I toot? No, chat. I didn't cough, so obviously I didn't toot. Does Kip know who Turkey Hawk is? I don't think so. But M's right there. I think we should talk to M. You walk through the park towards M. Park! A hooded wizard. You duck just in time to avoid having your head chopped by a foam sword. Do I look like a frickin' wizard? Oops, sorry, hello? Then the knight runs back to the battle. Wow, the LARPers in this park are intense. Hey, hiya, Violet. To what do I owe the pleasure? I'm just following a lead. I'm obsessed, I'll just Dolly? Who? Harton? Maybe Kip says they don't know who Turkey Hawk is because, oh my god, this whole time Kip has been Turkey Hawk. I think y'all are sleuthing real good. I get that you're upset that Turkey flew the coop. How can you joke about that? Because Turkey is okay, Violet. Bob checked in on them. Didn't you see the post on Weasel Heights socials? I did, but I still want to find them. They're my friend, and I want to know they're okay without social media and former principals between us. Too bad. If Turkey doesn't want to be found, leave them alone. What if Turkey needs someone who cares about them more than anything right now? Then they'll come to someone on their own. So please, drop this whole search for them. Supposed to be on a date right now. You're right. I'll drop the case. I have a date with Nora anyway. Why are you hanging around here? Get going. Okay, you're right. Bye, Em. Dun dun. Hi, Nora. I like their room. I can't believe you're in my room. Give me the grand tour. Drawing stuff, computer stuff, gaming stuff, bed stuff. There. Pretty stuffy tour. I didn't invite you over for a tour. I invited you over to game. I got a new game called Nut Job. Hey, chat. You're a nut job. Thank you so much, Moonwitch. Hi, Sapphic. How are you? Nut job. It's nut job. Where's my mouse? Okay. Sounds wild. I've never even heard of this game. Got him. It's in beta. So we have to work together? You have to sit really close together, too. Look at Nora's face. Thanks, sweetheart. I don't know if I can. No, so the game just auto-saves. Auto-saves. Can I sneak smooches? Or is that against the rules? Even if it was a rule, sounds like one that's made to be broken. I feel like you should be putting on a pair of sunglasses and walking away from an explosion when you say that. Powerful energy. It's funny because I get so anxious about breaking rules in real life. Anyways, we move the squirrel around, make him jump between the trees, gather nuts, and chitter at other squirrels. Kind of like a squirrel simulator, except he's got two heads and a whole lot of attitude. Wait, why are we bumping our head on that branch? Because I'm trying to grab that acorn and you're pressing the button to climb down. That acorn sucks. Good ones are on the ground. Why are you pressing up now? So we're not getting the acorn? You said it sucks. This game is, and the pun is totally intended, nuts. Can y'all imagine if Kip and I tried to play a game like that? Yeah, your cat would love the game. Remember how nervous you'd get when you were that age and your crush would want to be near you? Let alone trying to dance with your crush at a dance. You know, that's crazy to me. Oh my God. You're just ripping that pun off the title, loser. You're the head who can't decide if we're climbing up or down. Make up your mind. What? We are sitting pretty close together. What should we do about it? I don't know. Wow, what timing. Okay, chat, this is what I'm gonna do. Before we smooch Nora, I want to make sure that we are doing our second giveaway. We have one more game key giveaway for LongStory 2 thanks to Bloom Digital. So this is a perfect moment to pause and roll another winner. So !join. Remember, must be following me. Open internationally. It's going to be a Steam key. And you have to have your Twitch whispers open.
And
Hi.
you must also be a certified cutie.
Well, everybody in here is a certified cutie. So are you. Oh, also, are you Turkey Hawk?
What?
So we're on the mystery of this friend that we think is Turkey Hawk, and all signs point to you with the clues. Kip isn't here anymore. I'm just talking to myself. Chat, anyway, that's marriage. In case you're out there and you're watching. !join, please. Why would you be a cassowary? Okay, yes, baby. They lay green eggs? Interesting. Last call, exclamation point, join. Found it, how are you doing today? Hi, Mikey. All right, chat, I'm gonna try really, really hard to keep snoozing ads until I'm forced to, because I don't want y'all to miss out on anything, okay? Would Kip kiss you or distract and game? Probably distracting game because they're very competitive. But, like, maybe they would find time for a singular smooch. Okay, are we ready? All right, so our winner of our final giveaway for Long Story 2, thanks again to Bloom Digital, is Chaos! Congratulations! I hope you love it, sweetheart. Chaos, Ella, Vera. There you are. Okay. And I just sent the game key to you in a Twitch whisper. I hope you enjoy. We get some love and hype in the chat. Yay! Congrats! Awesome. Yeah, you can tell me something funny.
Sorry,
What's up? No, it's fine.
You've got so much going on.
It's fine.
This is just so great.
Just tell me really quickly.
Boo was drooling, right?
Yep.
Because I was giving him his food.
Yep.
And he jumped. Excited.
Yeah, what
and
happened?
the drool bomb went
Ew.
up
Ew!
over the top of his head. And landed on his
Ew!
forehead.
Kip was telling me about a drool bomb. I don't know if y'all heard that Kubu just did. Hello, Turkey Hawk. I love that if that's going to be Kip's new nickname in the channel. That's going to be so funny. Okay, it's smooch time. I think we should kiss about it. Don't I say that to y'all all the time? Specifically, I say you want to smooch about it. Me too. Oh, yay. That's cute. Also, yes, well, you are a part of one. Look at the squirrels on the other screen, or rather, the one squirrel with the two heads. That's really funny. Turkip Hawk. Good call. Yeah, except our squirrel's fallen out of the tree and is just lying there swearing. And those other squirrels are making fun of him. Rude. After them. We'll show those jerks that two heads are better than one. Whew. This game is a workout for the hands. Yeah, but we somehow still beat the level. Even if my second head was a disaster. Psh, please. My head's the brains, yours is the bronze. That was super fun, though. I'm surprised I haven't seen anything about it. When did it come out? It's not released yet. Not released? Wait. Did you make this game? Guilty as charged. How is a 14-year-old making video games? Holy crap, Nora. This is like a full-on real game. That's the idea. I was thinking of posting it on itch.io or something, but I don't know if it's good enough. You have to. You'll be rich. You'll be famous. I'll get to brag to everyone that my girlfriend makes video games. Slow down, Violet. I still have a lot more work to do on it before I release it. Weird. I thought making games was super easy. Like, throw a couple sprites in, build a cool level, done. Yeah, that's really not what the process looks like. Wouldn't two people typing on one keyboard be kind of awkward? I think it would be cozy. You're kidding me! Mikey, no way. What is hers about? Isn't this sweet? More or less awkward than sitting so close to your crush and, like, turning away slightly, like you can't know, you can't perceive. Well, you make it look easy. You really think so? 100%! You're the most talented person I know. You're way too nice to me. You deserve it. Okay, well, I'll publish it when it's ready, but I'll use a screen name. That's probably smart. Yeah, don't want to get in trouble again like at my old school. Ugh, that situation was so dumb. Just because you made a zombie comic doesn't mean you're a secret bloodthirsty murderer. No, but I can't control what people think or say or do about my art. Learned that from the zombie comic debacle. Yeah, I guess you don't want people accusing you of being squirrel phobic or whatever. I cannot pronounce that, but Nora looked it up. So smart. But yeah, a pseudonym is super important online. Means one part of my life doesn't affect another. She's talking to us, chat. She's making a game where you rescue dogs. It's VR. Your brother-in-law's in tech, so he's been teaching her how to code. That is so cool. Oh my God, how adorable. I love the whole premise of it too. But what if, hypothetically, something happened to you and none of your fans knew what happened? Because they don't know your real name. Like Turkey Hawk? It's okay, Violet. I get it. You're worried about Turkey. Yeah, and it just seems like no one else cares. I'm not trying to be a wise woman on the mountaintop or anything. Please give me your wisdom, Nora-sensei. But I've had enough online friends where, like, we're talking all the time, and then they just completely disappear. And it's scary, right? It is, especially if they're dealing with mental health stuff. But most of the time, they're just going through life stuff like we all are, and they come back when they're ready. But what if it's not just life stuff? All I want is one message to confirm Turkey's okay. But Turkey isn't answering, and I have no idea how else to contact them. What if I knew someone who might? I'm actually kind of surprised that Nora knows somebody. Hi, Erie, how are you? Off to date Turkey Hawk for the mystery. I'm so glad. I hope you love it. I hope you love it. Might know how to contact Turkey? Might. Yeah. Well, who is it? Nora? Episode 5, Mystery Kid. Who's your secret contact who might know how to reach Turkey Hawk? So, someone reached out to me on Instafacegram to commission an illustration. Whoa, Nora, paid commission? That's like real artist stuff. I am both real and an artist. Anyway, they sent me some reference pictures. Let me show you. Oh, okay. So there we have Turkey Hawk in the middle. And it looks like other people. So maybe it's this person or this person. This turkey. Where are they? A mascot convention? Huh, you're so cute. Definitely a convention, but not a mascot convention. They're at conference. They're furries. Turkey is a furry? I mean, I don't know if Turkey is necessarily. I'm pretty sure even the more passionate furries don't necessarily walk around fully outfitted every day. Never even thought about that. But it makes sense if Turkey was a furry. It's all about being part of a community, being yourself, or an anthropomorphic version of yourself. Yeah, it's probably a super nice, non-judgmental group of friends. Turkey wouldn't have to explain themselves. Not like Turkey ever did, but yeah, I get it. Before we're getting off track, which one of them contacted you? I don't know. They gave a pretty generic email address and they wanted a sketch of the whole group, not a solo. So it could even be Turkey. Why you should pay commission to artists. I know, exactly. I know the Instafacegram gets me every time. They know they're about to give up the costume, but want something to remember their friends by. I guess. Could you ask the person who commissioned you? Even if they aren't Turkey, they might know who is. First of all, there's this thing called artist-client privilege. Aw, come on. That's only a thing if you're a lawyer. Second of all, you don't understand the furry community if you think I get any more work if I went prying into people's private lives. Third, their friends might not even know Turkey Hawk by any other name. Oh boy. Please, Nora, I'm worried. I know. And I'm scared I said something that upset Turkey so much they feel like they can't be themselves around us. How about this? I'll send a message to my client to give to Turkey, asking Turkey to text you, okay? You're the best. I know, I feel like the things that they get into and the things that they're into make me feel like they're at least 16. But also, kids grow up fast nowadays, so it could be like the new 14. Yeah. Those are exactly, Rainy. I'm like, what is the least aggressive one? Because I still feel like we should be listening to the boundaries and not pushing this anymore. But then I guess we lose the whole mystery behind it. Aw, nah. But you can pay me with a kiss. That seems like a win-win. Nora takes out her phone and starts typing a message. Hey, sorry to bug you and absolutely no pressure. So many conditionals. Hey, I'm an introvert. Someone video calls me without warning and makes me want to change my identity and flee to another continent. I don't know if you're close with Turkey Hawk, but their friend Violet is really worried about them. Could you ask Turkey to text them? There. Done. Thanks, Nora. Seriously. Ugh. Messaging a stranger to ask for a personal favor? Terrifying. Okay, chat, I have one more snooze left. Anyways, I guess that's the end of your investigation. Huh? Nothing to do but wait. I guess. I still feel like I'm missing something. Hey, did you finish the sketch of the mystery kid Em was talking to? I did. A bit reluctantly, Nora brings up the sketch on her computer. Doesn't that look like the kid that we saw in the photo from, like, the right-hand side? I don't think it's Turkey. Not what I was expecting. What do you mean? I guess, I don't know. Maybe I had an image of what I thought Turkey looked like without the suit, and this isn't it. We don't even know if this is Turkey. True. Can you send that sketch to me? Sure, just, use it for good, not evil, okay? Of course for good. I'm not a film noir detective. Now I can message M, show them this sketch, and ask who it is. I guess, but... And you're doing it. I don't think M is gonna be into this at all. M, Violet, who was that kid at the party you were talking to? Gonna have to be more specific. I talked to a lot of kids at the party. Even talked to myself a little. The kid you were talking to outside. Please refer to my previous statement. This kid. He's an old friend. Never seen him before. What was he doing at the party? He had a message for someone. Couldn't talk to them himself, and he wanted me to pass it along. Secret message? For who? Can't tell you. I'd lay off this one, Violet. Not every single secret needs to be exposed. Later, Gator. What did M say? So much between the lines. M said this kid had a secret message. Secret like romantic? Nora, you're a genius! Secret messages are 99% of the time related to romance. Where'd you get that stat? Nowhere. It just feels right. But the only people I know who've dated are M, Abby, and Marcel. And us. And us? Wait, didn't you say Jane had an ex she was always bragging about? Brad! And no one's ever actually met him. Definitely sounds like a made-up boyfriend. Who's named Brad? Your mom! I'm pretty sure my mom's name is Marilyn. Nope, that's a made-up name. Made-up mom. Your mom is made up. Your mom jokes are the lowest form of comedy, so I won't even dignify that with a response. So neither of our moms are named Brad, and I'm pretty sure Jane's Brad is not made up. Didn't Jane and Brad break up months ago? Why show up with a message for her now? That is weird. Your ex-boyfriend is named Brad? I've never dated a Brad, but I've known two Brads. Not Brad Pitt. Nora for you is real? Yeah. Unless Brad was already at the party. Oh no, is this going where I think it is? Mystery kid is Brad is Turkey. I don't know. Big jumps in logic there. No, it's all coming together. And I know what I have to do next. If that kid is Brad and Brad is Turkey, then Jane is the link to who Turkey is. And Hannah is my link to Jane. You're gonna text Hannah, aren't you? Yes. Hey, I need your help with something. You know where Jane is? No. Okay. You know how I could get in touch with her? Why? Because Nora saw this guy at the party. I think he's Jane's ex. So can you help me get in touch with Jane? Hannah's not writing back. What's going on with her? So you figured out Turkey Hawk is Brad. Oh my God! What? Yikes! You look like my mom when she accidentally saw some of my spicy fan art. This is real life spicy. Give me a sec. Is he actually? Because I was only like 54% sure. I'm pretty sure. Like 85%. I just figured it out now. No! I saw Brad at the party too, but I didn't say anything because new Hannah is not a gossip. And I didn't want to upset Jane. So don't talk to Jane about it. I have to. It's the only way to find Turkey Hawk. I don't know. was like a super big gossiper in season 1. So part of me thinks that she wants to be reformed, but also I think she has something more to do with it than she's letting on. So she's probably like, hey, sniff around over here, but it's not true because she's specifying that she doesn't want to upset Jane, which to me means that it's actually fake, but just like, again, like a distraction. What do y'all think? I don't know what to believe. Please don't. She'd be so embarrassed if everyone knew her ex is Turkey. There's nothing to be embarrassed about. Turkey rocks. Well, it doesn't matter anyways. I don't know where Jane is. She's been impossible to get in touch with. She says she's at like a family event or something, but yeah, right. Like, you saw that pic with Marcel. I could solve that mystery too if I could find Jane. Sorry, can't help with that. See? Well, I would say that was useless, except Hannah thinks Brad is Turkey too. Holy crap! Holy crap indeed. Not gonna lie, I wasn't sold on the theory. Hannah really thinks that? That's what she said, but she doesn't know where Jane is. And she says I shouldn't confront Jane about it. But we do know where Jane is, or at least where she was a little while ago. LARPing! The park. I'm gonna run over there and see if Jane's still making out with Marcel or whatever. Why are you making that face? I was just thinking, Hannah said not to confront Jane. I know you want to find Turkey, but is it worth possibly really upsetting Jane? Maybe? I don't know. Tell you what, I'll think about it on the walk to the park, and if it seems like a bad idea, I promise I'll bail. Okay. And chat, that is where we end our sponsored segment today. We've got ads starting in about a minute, but before that happens, I want to say a huge, huge, huge thank you to Bloom Digital for sponsoring today's stream segment and YouTube VOD. Please check out the link in chat for LongStory 2. LongStory is back, baby. The adorable crew is heading to high school, ready or not. Negotiate a summer fling, handle friend drama, and solve yet another mystery in the follow-up to Bloom's first award-winning dating sim. This season explores body confidence, identity, and polyamory. Click that link, chat. Thank you. Hey, listen. Remember, you can also follow this story, and maybe we'll find out who Turkey Hawk actually is. I wonder if anybody else is lying to us. I think that would be really interesting to tell, wouldn't it? All right, let me make sure that that is there. Quit. Beautiful. Chat. So, I think, man, I'm going to let the ads run, but I think we're going to wrap it up for today. I'd originally said that I wanted to do some more Sims and finish our Pride build after. I think I'm going to push that to Monday. Your girl is in pain. I'm going to try and go rest, maybe get a nap in after the ordeal from yesterday. So this is what is going to be happening next week. As I mentioned to y'all before, we're going to be here Monday, Tuesday, Thursday. I might have something really cool for Thursday going on. Otherwise, it'll be a full Sims week. It's going to be short because I am going to be taking off for the 4th of July, which is on Friday. And other than that, do I have anything else? I'm going to try and start the outstanding stickers this weekend. It'll help my hand move around as well. And I'm hoping that, honestly, 2 weeks from now, I think I'm going to have access to the new pack. Stay tuned for Minecraft. It's still on the docket. The season for Girly Pop SMP doesn't wrap up until August 15th, so I'll definitely have time, even if we start it a little late. So I would like to try and get into Minecraft at some point in July, but obviously we want to check out the early access to Enchanted by Nature first. Thanks, pals. Aw, Simber, I'm so glad. Yeah, that type of game is called a visual novel. If you like scary games, I would very much encourage you to pick up Doki Doki Literature Club. That was my first visual novel, and it's great. It's really great. It's scary, but it's more like unsettling. If you don't like jump scares, you would be fine playing that game. It's you! Thanks, chat. Thank you so much. I'm just trying to talk through the ending of the ads because I feel really bad just to end in the middle of them. If people can't see me right now, I feel bad. Everybody, I hope you have a beautiful weekend. I hope that you take care. I hope it's nice weather for everybody in here. I'm definitely going to rest. This was a big week, but listen, the world keeps spinning. We're getting through it. And I just want to say thank you so much again for bearing with me. I know my schedule has been a little bit weird lately, but I keep trying to tell myself I'd much rather give you my best and still be streaming, even if it's shorter hours, than be off stream for like 2 months like we were last summer. So we're still kicking the summer in the butt in the nerd camp. It's just looking a little bit different. So genuinely, thank you so much for the support. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Chat, before I go, let me come over to this screen. If you'd like to check out the VOD channel, I'm not going to have any VODs for you this weekend, but I did post our last 3 VODs for the eggplant house build. I have our last veggie on there, and also the beginning of our, what is it called? The Sims event. What is it called? The nature event. So if you want to check those out, give me some views on there. That would be awesome. I will, at some point, either, I think tomorrow for Blue Sky, I'm going to have a sponsored post for you on there. And then next week, I'll tag y'all and let you know when I put this VOD from today up. Grim with the iPad took you out. I know, dude. Isn't he so funny? Nature's calling. Thank you. So, no raid. We'll hopefully get back to that at some point. But I love you, chat. Thank you so much for a beautiful Friday. Be good and kind to yourselves and each other. I'll see you on Monday. We're going to have a great week next week. I got nothing else going on but streams with you all. And I'm so looking forward to a semblance of normalcy with my schedule, at least for a little bit. I love y'all. Have a great weekend. Keen, I love you. Bye, everybody. Mwah.